This is Senior Grandmaster Jimenez. We had a little technical difficulty, so we're going to continue our interview. So, go ahead, go on.
Yeah, so I believe that martial arts schools should be able to teach different aspects of martial arts, beginnings, beginners into intermediate, if they get their children into discipline as a sport or a traditional art form. But as a self-defense, that should be taught in conjunction with the sport and, to make yourself balanced, for the student's sake, you know. Children are often not uh, aware of the surroundings,
Yeah,
and and what the sad thing is when parents start bringing their kids into martial arts studios, they think that just watching one class, is enough. I think you should go to different schools and interview the instructor and see how the class is going to the liking of self-defense, or whatever the student wants to get involved into tournaments. It's good. Tournaments are good and instills discipline and sport, sportsmanship and such. But if the student's not comfortable with that, they should get involved in the traditional art forms, learning katas and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what I see wrong, terribly wrong now, is the last time I went to a tournament a few years back, maybe probably 4 or 5 years back, I saw the strangest thing. I saw a guy throwing a bow up in the air. It was a aluminum bow, probably about 5.5 feet. I don't think
Yeah,
it was 6 feet. Could have been. He threw a bow up in the air and he spun around, and then he caught it, and then he drops to his knee and he does an extended, profound ki.
yeah,
And I'm like, what? These guys are baton,
yeah.
throwers and techniques.
Well, the,
Now,
the, the rule of thumb is you're not supposed to let your weapon leave your hand.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And their focus is they're doing more dramatic and for show. And a lot of the teachers start throwing away the real traditional peppers, that
yeah,
had meaning. So they just said, well, this is what my students want, and I'm giving it. So you're looking at the students now, they're doing acrobatic forms in conjunction with their weapon. I've seen a guy doing a split, jumping in the air, and he had one Chinese broadsword over him. He did a somersault. I was like, wow, okay, the guy is very athletical, but he looks pretty. But I don't think on the street, those techniques are going to bounce. The sword is made out of aluminum alloy, and it just makes noise and wiggle when you wiggle it. It doesn't show any true essence to the martial art. To the sport form, unbelievable. I would
yeah,
categorize this as a sport. This is a creative art. Now I can see your expression. Okay, I understand. I like that. People would see that. Even it's impressive to the eye, but it's functional. Well, no, but it's not fighting. It's more acting.
oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's ridiculous
So
now. It's
so
crazy.
you can't get a guy that's 40 years old and he's been a bricklayer since he was 18 years old, and he's got a wheelbarrow with cement and bricks, and he's on his knees. He's doing the trowing with the putting cement over a brick and then put another cement, and he's got the line form,
Oh
and he's
yeah,
wheeling all day. And then he goes to a martial art class, and you expect him to do a split, a Chinese split. You can't. His legs are
exactly.
not meant to stretch.
Yeah,
So
it's
you have
silly.
to be adaptable.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, how's the virus affected you guys over there?
Well, it's bad in Chicago. Now we got this other strain. It was really bad. You can't. I seen fights at a Walgreens. The lady didn't have a mask, and she was pushed out of the store by other people, and the children had little tiny masks. And I was like, "Oh man, what is this world coming to? You're fighting a person that doesn't have a mask because you don't want.
Yeah.
I understand the fear. It's channeling a lot of fear, but the lady pulled up her shirt over her nose and mouth, and all she wanted was something like, I don't recall what she wanted from the store at Walgreens, but she was escorted forcefully out by people that were in there. You know.
I still wear my mask. I mean, I never stopped.
Yeah, I still, I'm a high risk being a diabetic, and I have I have to shoot up insulin, several times a day, so I'm a very high risk. My wife, I'm in my 60s already,
Yeah, same
And,
here. I've got the shot, but I still wear it. Just I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Sure.
You
Well,
know.
this new strain, we don't know what's going to happen, and the biggest thing is a lot of businesses went out of business. Like weightlifting. These gyms.
Yeah, of
these
course,
old gyms. They went out. Hip hop dancing or the other Zumba classes, yoga. All of them went. They used to have 30, 40 people in class every other hour or so. There was, they had several classes in a day. Now you're lucky if you got 5 or 6 students that come in, and then they're apart. So a lot of even the kung fu studios that were here for years and karate and martial arts, they closed down. Especially if they're leasing space. It costs money. To keep. If your students don't come to class, you don't have any money to pay your rent. And I know many martial artists that had schools that were working to keep their school running. They loved their family, student, but they even did social events to keep it, like pancake breakfast, car wash.
Sure, something,
just to keep the school going, and it just closed down. The one school that had 35 years in Chicago closed down.
That's crazy.
It was a very, very good school. It's terrible. This virus, this COVID, is killing people's business and destroying people's lives.
Oh yes, it's horrible. It's horrible. So the last question: what do you see yourself in 10 years?
God willing, I hope I'm alive 10 years. I would
Me
love
too.
to still teach.
Me
teach
too.
my class.
Me too. Yeah, what do you think about some of the? One more question. What do you think about some of the grandmasters that are out there right now? The ones that deserve it and the ones that don't. How it's been given out to a lot of people.
Oh, I believe they earn their honors. They're very. A lot of people don't know that people that are teaching at YMCA's, family centers, Boys and Girls Club, church basements, park district halls, community centers, that kind of thing. Those are some great instructors. They're teaching from their heart. They might charge a minimum fee because they're not required to charge any more than $30 or $25 for a class lesson, but they're just as good as the people that own studios and have multi-black belts and stuff. They're very good martial artists,
Yeah.
So I don't badmouth them. They're very, very good. Even Bruce Lee taught in his backyard, and Chuck Norris taught in his backyard.
Well, you know what? But most studios started out in their garage.
Absolutely.
I did.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's where I started.
Yeah, people think that because you're teaching in your backyard that you're not that good, and I'm like, what? Wait a minute, this guy's teaching. Look at this guy, I've seen brown belts that can teach better than master black belts,
Oh, I have too.
Back in, I believe it was Mike Stone, from Mike Stone from Sherman Root, the famous Mike Stone. He made black belt, I think, in less than 9 months. Bill Wallace, I believe, made it within a year. Chuck Norris made black belt within a year. But back then, they were military guys. They all were in the Army, and I think Chuck Norris was in the Air Force. So these guys had discipline. So they worked out 4 to 5 hours a day. They put their life, body, and soul into it. Joe Louis was in Vietnam, so of course that man he figured, if I'm going to go in Vietnam, I better know how some empty hand-to-hand combat. And he was good. So was Bill Wallace. Wallace was not in Vietnam, but he was in the Air Force. He was good.
Yeah, he was good. I was supposed to fight him 3 rounds for an exposition fight in San Jose one year, but I didn't do it, But I went, but I just didn't fight in the 3 rounds. So I turned it down. But you kind of wish I kind of would have done it now, but at the time, the weight type. I was a lightweight. He was was it middleweight or something like that. I forgot what he was.
Right.
You know, so but they want me to us to do a 3-round expedition. You know, but you know.
Yeah, he's an amazing martial artist.
Yeah, he is. Fastest kick. That left leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
I think he's in his mid-70s, I believe, and he still can kick butt, you know? Like, I wouldn't want to face him in the ring.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy, yeah.
He's good, yeah.
All right, well, I want to thank you for this opportunity to interview you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Master
yeah, I mean, I know, I have a lot of respect for you and everything, and I know you're part of the WW back again now, and I really appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And hope we can one day be able to come down there and visit you.
Sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez from Kajukenbo Live, coming out of South Lake Tahoe. Thank you for this interview, and I'll see you next week.